Hariom, let us start. Om. 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 Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo, Maheshwara, Guru Sakshal, Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri, Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri, Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri, Gurave Namaha. Om Sindhurarunavigraham Trinayanam Manikya Spurat Taranayakashekaram Smitamukhim Abhinavakshoruham Panibhyam Alibhunaratna Jashakam Rattotpalam Vipratim Saumyam Ratnaganastarakta Charanam Dhyayet Paramambikam ध्यायेत् पद्मासनस्तां विकसितवदनां पद्मपत्रायदाक्षीं हेमाभां पीतवस्त्रां करकलितलसत् हेमपद्मां वराङ्गीं सर्वालङ्कारयुक्तां सततमभयतां भक्तनम्रां भवानीं श्रीविद्यां शान्तमूर्तिं सकलसुरनुदां सर्वसम्पत्प्रदात्रीं सकुङ्कुमविलेपनामलिकचुम्बिकस्तूरिकां समन्दादिरेक्षणां ससरजाववाशाङ्कुशाम् अशेषजनमोहिनीं मरुणमाल्यभूषोज्ज्वलां जपाकुसुमभासुरां जपविदौ स्मरेदम्बिकाम् अरुणां करुणातरङ्गिताक्षीं धृतवाशाङ्कुशपुष्पबाणचापाम् अणिमादिविरावृतां मयूखैः अहमित्येव विभावगे महेशीम् Om Parashakti Namaha. Om Parashakti Namaha. Om Parashakti Namaha. Today we are going to cover next 15 names from 816 till 830. Let us start. Om Munimanasaham Namaha. Om Satyavrataye Namaha. Om Satyarupaye Namaha. Om Sarvantaryaminyai Namaha. Om Satye Namaha. Om Brahmanye Namaha. Om Brahmane Namaha. Om Jananye Namaha. Om Bahurupaye Namaha. Om Buddharchidaye Namaha. Om Prasavitre Namaha. Om Prachandaye Namaha. Om Ajnaye Namaha. Om Pratishthaye Namaha. Om Prakadagratyay Namaha. So the first name is Om Munimanasa Hamsikaye Namaha. Om Munimanasa Hamsika. Muni Manasa. Manasa is the mind. Of whom? The mind of Munis. So she is the Hamsika. She is the swans. These are the swans in the she is the swan in the Manasa lake, in the mind of the sages. She is the swan in the Manasa lake, in the minds of the sages. So where is this Manasa? This is actually the Manasa, referring to the physical perspective, is Manasarovar. So Manasarovar in Mount Kailasha is the abode of swans. That's what they say. I have never been there, but I'm told that that is the abode of the swans. So this is a very important lake as far as we are all aware. And what this refers to is that Devi sports in the hearts of the Munis, just like swans sport in the Manasarovar lake. So that is the comparison that is drawn. Now we will come back to why swans, but there is a further interpretation which is splitting it as Muni Mana Sahamsika. So she who dances wearing anklets. in celebration of the proud and dedicated lifestyle of the sages. Sahamsika basically is referring to one who is wearing anklets or hansakas, which are generally you wear them before dancing. Mana is referring to the pride. So she wears anklets in celebration of the proud and dedicated lifestyle of the sages. Now, going back to why it is called, why reference to the swan is there. Swans generally choose the most pristine and calm waters. They are not seen in rough waters. They are always seen only when the waters are very calm. That refers to the minds of the sages, which are always considered to be very calm. And the other aspect is that of the swan. Swan can discriminate when you mix milk and water. They will be able to take only the milk and leave the water alone. So because of that perspective, the power of discrimination is there in swans, which is also seen in munis. And the third perspective is the fact that the swans, the name of swan is called as Hamsa. Hamsa. Hamsa is the same as the Ajaba mantra, which is Soham, Soham, Soham. When you keep repeating the Ajapa mantra, that becomes Hamso or Hamsa. So therefore, that is the perspective which is referred to here. Muni Manasa Hamsikaye Namaha. 817. Om Satyavradaye Namaha. Satyavrada. So Satya is it's basically the literal meaning is that she who abides firmly in truth. She is completely entrenched in truth. That is what this refers to. So abidance in this means that words match thought, and words that match thought and deeds that match words. So it's not just one way, it's both ways. Words that match thought, following on words, the deeds also match these words. That is what the abidance in truth is referred to as. Yeah. Then Satya is Brahman and Vrata means dear. So those who abide in Brahman are dear to Devi. So this is a very simple, straightforward aspect. If you take Satya to mean Brahman and Vrata means dear, those who abide in Brahman are dear to Lalitha Tripura Sundari Devi. Now, Bhaskara Raya or Bhaskaracharya, as he is also called, is known to play with words. So he interprets this word Satya as saying that which yields results quickly. So this is his interpretation. He says that Satya basically is referring to unfailing and instantaneous, which is this is one of the meanings of Satya, unfailing and instantaneous. Basically means once you express your faith in Devi, that faith does not go unrewarded. And not just that, when that faith is there, the reward to that faith is instantaneous. There is no delay in the results, and it is eternal and yielding fruit. So this is the other perspective. It is always there and it yields fruit. So what this effectively means that one who gives quick results to vows. When you're having a vow and you want to establish that vow, or you want to pray to Devi for a specific objective, you can be sure that is responded to by Devi in very quick time. In very quick time, you will find that the result of that particular prayer yields very quick results. So you have the Vishnu Bhagavata that says that the gopis worshipped Devi. In the Vishnu Bhagavata, gopis worshipped Devi with a firm vow to attain Krishna, and they had their wish fulfilled quickly. So the prayer to attain Krishna was aimed at Devi, and because it was aimed at Devi, Therefore, Devi fulfilled that promise and they could attain Krishna very quickly. So that is the perspective of this particular name, which is Satyavrata. Then the other aspect is that Satya also means refuge. So Devi says that if you take a vow to express your refuge to Devi, then she will ensure that she takes care of each of those living beings who express their refuge in Devi. So this is another perspective. It refers also to, there is a reference also to Lord Sri Rama, who says that whoever takes refuge in me, to him I give protection. This is my vow, Sri Rama's vow, that Sri Rama will take care of every living being who completely surrenders to Lord Sri Ram. So that is another perspective. Then there is a further splitting of the name. Sa refers to prana, Tyam refers to food and matter, and Vrata refers to maintenance or balance. So from that perspective, Devi regulates prana, food and matter, ensuring perfect health. So this is referring to the health of the person. So if you surrender to Devi, she will take care of your health. That is the ultimate meaning in this particular name. So the care of the body should be taken as a vow. The protection of this body filled with the nectar of devotion to Shiva is indeed to be treated as a vow. So this is again talks of the importance of prayer to Devi. Once you express your faith in Devi as prana, as food and matter, she ensures that there is complete balance in the body and ensures that bodily health is maintained. Now there is another perspective of this name Satyavrata, because she was pleased by one of her devotees called Satyavrata. The person's name is Satyavrata. This is there in the Devi Bhagavatam. He was an illiterate man apparently and very foolish. So he was frightened by a boar. And when he was frightened by the boar, he ran away. He was repeating I. He was shouting out that name, I. Now, when the sound that he heard this is the sound that comes from the boar. If you listen to the sound of the boar, it's the same sound that comes from the voice of the boar, and he was repeating this. Now, repeating this syllable, which is I, it is a mantra of Devi without the im. It is I'm. He was actually saying only I, and even though he was not repeating the correct syllable, he became the wisest of the wise. He was only giving a part of the syllable. And Devi is extremely compassionate. She was very pleased with him and made him the king of poets, despite being illiterate, despite being very foolish. He was made the king of poets. So that is why Devi's name is also called as Satyavrata. 818. Om Satya Rupaye Namaha. Satya Rupa. Satya is truth. So she who is truth itself. She is the ultimate Brahman. She shines as the ultimate truth at all times. She is the embodiment of truth. Wherever there is truth, there is Devi. If truth is there, Devi is there. Truth and untruth are opposites. Truth is protected by Shiva, accompanied by Uma. Untruth is destroyed by him. So this is what the Rig Veda says. So ultimately, Devi is truth. Satya Rupaye Namaha or Satya Rupa. 819. Om Sarvantaryaminyai Namaha. The name is Sarvantaryamini. Sarvantaryamini. In Hindi, it is written with the small na, but when it is written in the Sanskrit version, it is Sarvantaryaminyai, the big na. Okay, so Sarva Antaryami. So that is what that that name splits into she who dwells inside all. She dwells inside all. So the there are perspective in this is that this dwells in all and is the origin of all. So basically, Devi is there inside all forms of life. So this is the pervading consciousness inside all. Every aspect, every living being, in a living and inanimate objects has the presence of Devi. That is something that we should learn to accept. And she is the director of all hearts. She is there inside all people, and she is the person who directs all hearts. So the Shruti says, the one who is born in the form of all devas, along with all elements and with the prana, and enters into the heart, abides therein. He who knows that Aditi verily knows Brahman, this is that. We are referring to Brahman basically, which is all the presence of Devi is there right inside Sarva Antaryami. She is right inside all aspects. And because she is inside, she is also referred to as the Antaratma. She is Antaratma. She is deep inside the person, and in order to realize Devi, it is not possible. You have a Stula Sharira, which is the external perspective, which is for us to get our concentration. But once the concentration is obtained, then the external senses are closed, and then it is inner contemplation, deep inner contemplation. And because she is the Antaratma, only by deep internal contemplation will we be able to discover and unite with Devi. In order to realize Devi, she cannot be seen externally. You have to look inwards. So, and there is the other perspective that Devi was right before creation. She will be there after the dissolution or complete destruction as well. She knows the beginning, she knows the end, she creates the beginning and creates the being and the non-being. So therefore she is known as Sarva. She is known as Sarva. All aspects are covered in Devi. So there is a further perspective. She who directs the inner senses of all beings. She who directs. The direction is called Yamini. The direction. She who directs Yamini, the inner senses, the Anta of all beings. Sarva. So she directs the inner senses of all beings. Now, there is a further perspective, which is that Yamini refers to night. So there is a night reference to Yamini. Now there was an earlier reference to one of the shlokas from the Bhagavad Gita, which was Yanisha Sarva Bhutanam Tasyam Jagrati Sanyami Yasyam Jagrati Bhutani Sa Nisha Pashyato Munihi. We have covered this in one of the earlier names of Devi. What this translates is that what all beings consider as day is the night of ignorance for the wise. What we all consider as day is night of ignorance for the wise. And what all creatures see as night is the day for the introspective sage. So basically, you have to close your external world if you want to discover Devi. You have to close or shut out. So basically, by closing or shutting out, that is the Yamini, which is the night. You have to shut that out so that Devi ensures that the inner sense of all beings is diverted towards Devi. She is the night to the inner sense of all beings. So this is the other perspective of Sarvantar Yamini or Om Sarvantar Yaminyai Namaha. 820. Om Satyai Namaha. Om Satyai Namaha. So this is not referring to Satya, this is referring to Sati. The name is Sati. So Sati, she who is reality, the eternal being. We all know the story of Sati. Now, This is drawn from the word Sat, which means truth and existence, or eternal existence. Yeah. So this is the meaning of Sat. So who is Sati? Sati is the divine mother. She is eternal reality. She is truth that is unchanged through all paths of time, whether it is the past, present, or the future. Sati is unchanged right through parts of time. Now she was the daughter of Daksha Prajapati, and she was the devoted wife of Paramashiva. She was the devoted wife of Paramashiva, and she was the embodiment of fidelity. Who is Paramashiva? He was the embodiment of fidelity. And from that perspective, when Lord Shiva was insulted by Daksha Maharaja, at that time she decided to self-immolate. So there are several aspects in that perspective. But who does Daksha Maharaja or the Daksha Prajapati refer to? Daksha Prajapati refers to ego and arrogance. Ego and arrogance. And as this ego and arrogance grows, it insults divine consciousness. And eternal virtue or sati sacrifices itself. Eternal virtue is referring to Sati, and what did she do? She sacrificed herself, jumped into the fire. So when after that she was reborn, but by jumping into the fire, what was the significance? The significance was that she is the energy of Kundalini, and she by burning this Kundalini, the energy of Kundalini, it purifies the worldly ignorance and leads to liberation. So that is the further perspective of this actual act of burning that happened. But then when the burning happened, there was this intense pain which Lord Shiva went through, this pain of separation. And that separation was, what was the separation about? The separation was not just about Shiva and Sati, but about Shiva and Shakti, or Purusha and Prakriti. So that separation also happened. When that separation happened, Shiva was obviously very sad, and he went into deep bouts of meditation. The reunification happened when Sati was reborn as Uma. When that reunification happened, and she won back Lord Shiva's heart. And when that happened, ultimately they ended up as becoming Ardhanarishwara. Shiva became Ardhanarishwara, where he gave the left side to Shakti, and the right side was Lord Shiva. So, and what was the perspective? The right side is Lord Shiva. He is static, he is calm, whereas the left side is kinetic, and she is the action, she is the Shakti that powers Lord Shiva. So all this refers to the name Sati, or Om Satyai Namaha. 8:21. Om Brahmanye Namaha. The name is Brahmani. So she is the tail, that is Brahman. What is the perspective or the significance? The tail is the extreme end of the spine. Now, if the tail is not there, the balance is not there. So for all living beings, that particular tail is important, and it is the support which is used by animals for sitting. Without that support, animals cannot sit. Now there is another aspect which is Brahma Ani. So Brahma refers in this case to Lord Shiva, not referring to Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and Ani is the axle, is that pin on the axle. So when that pin is there, only then the axle is stable. If that pin is removed, the axle is unstable and the wheel will come off. So for Lord Shiva to be effective and do what work he is supposed to do, that axle is needed, so that the pin is needed, so that the axle on which Lord Shiva is stable. So that is the importance of Devi. Now if we go further, Devi also gave life to Brahma. That is also another perspective, and therefore she is called as Brahmani. She gave life to Deva. That is a further perspective. Now, if Sadashiva is indistinct from Brahma, then Devi is Brahmani, the wife of Brahma, which is the same thing which we just covered just a short while back. 822. Om Brahmane Namaha. The name is Brahman. So she who is Brahman. What is Brahman? We have covered Brahman all through, right from the beginning. Brahman is truth, knowledge, and infinity. What is truth? Truth is the pure existence which is changeless with time. So it's not that today's truth is different from tomorrow's truth. No, it cannot happen. What is truth is truth. Paransap, that is the most important aspect of truth, that is changeless. It does not change with time. Similarly, real knowledge is changeless, which remains unchanged through the three divisions of time, past, present, and future. Ultimate reality, which is also the third aspect, has no beginning or end, is not created, has no parts. So Brahman cannot be discussed. So the aspect of discussion of Brahman is like when you're talking of science and spirituality. So you cannot apply scientific temper while discussing spiritual matters. Those two things, where spirituality starts, science stops. So science does not work in trying to discuss Brahman. You cannot establish it by rules of inference. The only way that Brahman can be understood is by realization. By the actual experience. So how do you experience the sweetness of honey? Only by tasting it. That is the only way you will be able to experience sweetness of honey. How will you be able to experience the fragrance of a flower? Not by looking at it, by smelling it. That is the only way that you will be able to experience the fragrance of a flower. So Devi is that ultimate experience which is called as Brahman, and this, when you experience Brahman, what that does is it completely eliminates the concept of duality and ensures that Advaita is established. And it is beyond words, and it is recognized only by the self alone. How? Looking inwards. Close your external senses, open your internal senses. That is the only way you will be able to experience Brahman. 823. Om Jananyai Namaha. The name is Janani. Janani, she who is the mother. She is the mother of all. This needs no explanation. She is the mother of all. From Brahma to the lowliest insect, she is the mother of the universe. So this is a beautiful name which completely summarizes what Devi is to the whole world. 824. Om Bahurupayai Namaha. Om Bahurupayai Namaha. Bahurupa. She has a multitude of forms. So she is from the biggest, the grossest to the gross, and from Anu to the smallest. She is from the grossest to the gross and the smallest to the small. The smallest form and the unfathomable form. She is manifold forms, from the atom to the tallest mountain, from the glowworm to the sun. So Devi Bhagavatam says, as she is supreme reality, she is formless. Because her nature is one of activity, she is also one with many forms. She is formless on one side, she's got many forms on the other side. And she is movable, she is immovable, and she's got countless forms according to Devi Purana. So you have some other perspectives. She is a person who becomes 1, 2, 16 and 32. 1 means Brahman, 2 means Purusha and Prakriti, 16 stands for the vowels, and 32 stands for the consonants. So all of these are needed. All of these are needed for all affairs of the world, and this 16 here can also refer to 16 daily deities as well. So there are further perspectives regarding this particular name. Raudri. The Raudri is referring to the Tamasic Shakti, Raudri. That Raudri is called Chamunda. Raudri is called Chamunda. There are 9 crores of Chamundas. There is 9 crores of these things. And Vaishnavi, the Rajasic Shakti, is as an 18 crore forms. 18 crore of these Vaishnavis are there. Then the Sattvic Shakti of Brahma has an infinite number of forms. So all these Shaktis are creations of Devi and Shiva, and he is the Lord of all. Shiva is pleased with anyone who worships these Shaktis, and with him the Shaktis are also pleased. So there is no, this is the basis of the fact that she is Bahurupa. She cannot be seen just as in one form. So this covers. There are many more aspects to this, but this effectively covers what this particular name is trying to explain, the fact that she has a multiplicity or a multitude of forms. Om Bahurupayai Namaha. 825. Om Budharchitayai Namaha. Budharchita. The name is Budharchita. Buddha is referring to enlightened people. Enlightened people, wise people, intelligent or awakened soul. Yeah, Archita. Archita means she is worshipped. So who is she worshipped by? She is worshipped by wise souls. So this is what this name refers to. Now, if you go further, the Bhagavad Gita says that not only wise, but virtuous men of other types also worship her. So that is what the Bhagavad Gita says. There are 4 types of these people. Lord Krishna tells in the Bhagavad Gita: the distressed, the seeker of knowledge, the seeker of wealth, and the jnani. And the jnani is the man of wealth. So this man of wisdom. So this is what Lord Krishna mentions to Arjuna. Now, if you look at a plain sheet of glass, a plain sheet of glass will not reflect the face. If you look at a plain sheet of glass, a transparent glass, it will not reflect the face. It has to be coated on one side to turn into a mirror. So just being born as a human being, because one is born as a human being, does not mean that one's thoughts will turn towards God. No. Being born as a human being does not necessarily guarantee that one will be able to reflect towards God. So you need to have the samskara of all the previous births. So only when that samskara is there, only then you will be able to turn towards God. Even if you look at the current atheist concept, if that atheist concept is there, that atheist concept is also there only because of the previous sanskara, only because the previous generation, probably the parents were non-believers, probably the forefathers were communists, all the people who did not believe in the concept of God, and therefore this child, again because of his previous samskara, is not able to understand or acknowledge the presence of God. So only such a person, if you have that previous samskara, you will be able to come near the fire and ward off the cold. Others will keep a distance and suffer the cold. Others will keep a distance and suffer the cold. So ultimately what this means, that only those who are wise will be able to experience the presence of Devi. Only those who are wise. So I think for a minute we should thank all our forefathers, our parents, for what they have instilled within us, the concept of belief in God, the concept of being able to realize the concept of God. Even this, the fact that we are sitting here discussing is because of the Purva Janma Sanskara. It is because of that we have had the fortune to sit here and discuss and think about Devi. Even thinking about Devi will be enough for moksha. Take it from me. Even that is enough for us to take one more step closer to Devi. 826. Om Prasavitri Namaha. Prasavitri. She is the mother of the universe. One who gives birth to the cosmos. So Bhaskaracharya, see this Bhaskaracharya is a person who always twists lots of things. He's a very good with Sanskrit, and he twists a lot of things. So he quotes from the Devi Purana and says, the Shakti from whom proceed all things, from Brahma to the inanimate, the Devi from whom the whole universe from Mahat downwards is born, we bow to that mother of all. Since she gives birth to all beings, she is known as, not as Prasavitri, she is known as Savita. And this Savita is linked to Prasavitri. So the question immediately one asks is, what is the link between Savita and Prasavitri? So the thing is, the perspective is that Savita refers to Lord Shiva as well. This is the other half of Prasavitri. So the conscious energy in this form of Lord Shiva, when Shiva is seen as Savita, the conscious energy of this form is called Prasavitri. So by referring to Lord Shiva as Savita, he is referring to the other half of Lord Shiva, which is the energy half of Lord Shiva, which is Prasavitri. Very convoluted argument. He could have straight away said this is the same, but he chose to go down the wrong road, down the backside. Instead of touching his nose like this, Bhaskaracharya decided to convolute his hand and touch his nose in a very difficult way for us, so that we also improve and learn more and more about Devi in a very different and a difficult way. So, Prasavitri, very beautiful explanation that he has given. Om Prachandaye Namah, 827. Prachanda. So, she is full of awe-inspiring wrath. This is referring to pra is referring to exceedingly. Chanda is referring to angry. So, she is extremely angry. So, the extreme anger is there. She was fierce, terrifying, full of extreme energy. And where is this energy directed? This energy is directed to kill the enemies, annihilate, destroy the enemies who are there, not just externally, but internally as well. So she is the Devi who is about to kill Bhandasura. When she was about to kill Bhandasura, she was not going in the Shanta Swarupa and saying, okay, Bhandasura, I am going to finish you now. No, it didn't happen like that. There was extreme anger that was there in Devi, and with that extreme anger, she completely finished Bhandasura. And all Bhandasura and all his attendants, Bhanda Sainya, if you remember, Bhanda Sainya, Bhadodyukta, Shakti Vikrama Harshita. So this was a beautiful name which we have learned earlier. So she killed that entire Bhandasura and his entire army, Bhanda Sainya. Yeah. So one who has awe-inspiring attendance is also called as Prachanda. So there is also another aspect of Prachanda. Now, why does Devi show anger? There is a philosophy also related to our real life. Anger is an emotion. That anger as an emotion should be used in the right way. When anger as an emotion, that is something which I have to learn as well, because I am also known to be to fly off the handle. I have to learn how to control my own anger. Yeah, so that anger is something that can be used, because the Taittiriya Upanishad says of Brahman, through fear of him blows the wind. Through fear of him blows the wind. Through fear of him rises the sun. Through fear of him, again Indra, fire and death proceed to their respective duties. So all these people do their duties through one particular emotion, fear. What is that fear due to? Potential anger when it is not implemented. So there is a question asked by Kamandaka saying, how can someone who has no anger and whom no one fears enforce righteousness? So this sort of justifies my anger. Jalaja is quite happy with that. Yeah, justifies my anger. The fact that if you don't have anger and whom no one fears, how can you enforce righteousness? So I didn't ask this question. One person called Kamandaka asked this question. So basically, it means that anger is an emotion which has to be used judiciously. If it becomes a sthayi bhavam, if you understand what that means, sthayi bhava means you're always angry, then there is a fundamental problem. But if it is used judiciously, then it is something that can be a very useful emotion. Now, Prachanda is also a person who is fond of the Chanda flower. What is the Chanda flower? That is the Shanku Pushpam. Shanku Pushpam. So that is called as the Chanda flower. It is worth noting. It is an antidote to poison as well. So this is another perspective which is Prachanda. Om Prachandaye Namaha. 828. Om Ajnaye Namaha. So who is Ajna? Ajna is, that particular name refers to Devi, who is divine commandment herself. She is not just the person who orders. She is not just the person who orders. She is the order. She is not just the person who orders. She is the order, and what is that? The perspective is that there is a divine voice. This is the divine voice which maintains cosmic order and righteousness. Cosmic order and righteousness is maintained by Ajna. So, what is Devi's Ajna? The Vedas are her commandments. She is of the nature of the Vedas. So, Vedas issue the commands, and the Guru, similarly, just as much as the Guru says, speak the truth, tread the path of Dharma. Yeah, there is no exception to this rule. As far as possible, you should tread this path. This commandment is firm. I go back in life. In 1999 or so, when Swami Amrita Swarupananda Puri came to our house in Sharjah. He was in Dubai, and as part of his house visits, he came to Sharjah to our house. We were staying in this Al Khan area, and in the Al Khan area, in those days, there was just one roundabout there under the Al Khan bridge. It was just a bridge, not an interchange or flyover now. It was just a bridge with a roundabout underneath the bridge. So we used to go under the bridge, take a left turn, and take a first train into Jamal Abdul Nasser Street, which is where we had our flat, where our building was, and we were in the flat there. So when we are going into the roundabout or trying to reach the right turn, we will be patiently going along in this lane, and people will come into from the left side towards the extreme end. They will come and move their car inside. They will not follow the queue. They will not follow the queue, which is the right way of doing it, which is the correct path of dharma. And you're seeing adharma happening out there in front of you. Probably that person will cut in front of you. Now he's busy. He or she, whoever is trying, is busy. But we are also busy. And we are also coming back 6:30, 7:30 in the night. So obviously I asked Swami Amrita Swarupananda Puri, I asked him this question. When you see this adharma happening, what do you do? He said, when you see adharma happening, yes, you should stand up. You should stand and you should be in the right path of dharma. But you should have, what is that? Stalakala bodham. Stalakala bodham. Stala means place. Kala means time. Bodham. Remember where you are. So what you do in order to try and enforce dharma, the question that will come is, who are you to enforce dharma? So that would be a question. You go and hit the lady or the male who's driving the car, and then the police will come, and then you turn around and you will also lose time. Don't forget, you will also lose time. That person will lose time, you will also lose time. So that taught a very valuable lesson, which is patience. that taught me a very valuable lessons, which is patience and road discipline. That was a very important lesson that I learned over a period of time, which is the question of dharma and maintaining dharma. So the Puranas and the epics instill the essence of the same commandment just as a friend does. This goes back to your friendships also. Your friendships are your mirror. If you have true friends, they will show you the mirror and tell you, hey, listen, this is not right. And if you don't listen to it, who is the loser? You are the loser. You are the loser. If you do not listen to your friends and listen to the feedback that your friends give you, then you are the loser. So, but you should have the mental perspective to understand that the true friend is giving you feedback. At some point in time, if you do not listen to your friend, or at some point in time, if you start fighting with that friend who is giving you the feedback, what will ultimately happen? You will be the loser. You will not progress on the spiritual path. You will not learn how to establish dharma, and ultimately, who lose? You will lose. So it is like going all the way up, and then somebody is giving you feedback. Instead of trying to improve with the feedback, you will get bitten by the snake. You will come back to zero. So remember, if somebody is giving you feedback, just as a friend would give you feedback, the essence of the commandments which are there, the friend is giving you the feedback, take the feedback on board and learn to improve. Learn to improve, get in control with your, understand the importance of dharma, do whatever is right, learn to control your emotions and move forward in the right path. So we have stories of Harishchandra, Yudhishthira, poems, plays, that all these impart the same commandment and awaken just as a beloved person would do so. So there is a further perspective where Devi is called as Icha Shakti. She is Agnya, she is Icha Shakti. Then a further perspective is that of Agnya, referring to Agnya Chakra. Agnya Chakra, where there is a little knowledge of the importance of the supreme consciousness, which is achieved when somebody reaches that Agnya Chakra. A little visibly, a sneak peek is given into the supreme consciousness when one ascends to that particular level. So these are all the different interpretations of Ajna. 829. Om Pratishthaye Namaha. So Pratishtha, she is the foundation. So she is the foundation of the whole universe. The consciousness which is supreme is the foundation of all aspects. Pratishtha has got further meanings. It is a meter, a chanda, which has got 4 syllables to a line, 16 syllables in all. Devi is in the form of that meter. Now, if you take the Jala Tattva, a certain portion, a kala of the Jala Tattva is called as Pratishtha. So this kala is said to give good health, long life, and inspires the love of God. So Devi is in the power of that inspiration. Pratishtha refers to earth as well. So there is a further implied meaning of fame. So a person who has gained Sthita Pratishtha, which is solid fame, or Chira Pratishtha, which is everlasting fame, is a common expression. Devi is both the goddess earth and the goddess of fame. The last name for today is Om Prakadakritye Namaha. Om Prakadakritihi. So, she who is manifested in the form of the universe. So, what this means, you have several meanings of this. So, Brahman effectively is the unmanifested perspective. Brahman is unmanifested and beyond senses. In order to bless aspirants, a visible form is taken by Devi, and that visible form is Prakata Akriti. So that is what it is, Prakata Akriti. Now, Prakata Yoginis are the deities. If you look at the Sri Chakra, they are the deities of the first circle of the Sri Chakra. So this means one who is manifested in the form of these yoginis. So this is another perspective which is referred to. And the point is that this manifests, Devi or as Brahman manifests in all living beings as the ultimate self-awareness, and it can't be seen, it can only be experienced. And this experience is in the form of this Prakata Akriti. So the material universe is a direct reflection of the energy of Brahman. So this is what Prakata Akriti refers to in this particular name. I offer these words at the lotus feet of Lalitha Sundari Devi. Om Asato ma Sadgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Lokaha Samastaha Sugino Bhavantu. Lokaha Samastaha Sugino Bhavantu. Lokaha Samastaha Sugino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Karacharana Kritam va Kayajam Karmajam va Shravananayana va Manasam va Paradam Vidama Vihidam va Sarvameda Kshamasva. Jaya Jaya Karunabde Shri Mahadeva Shambho. Jaya Jaya Karunabde Shri Mahadeva Shambho. Jaya Jaya Karunabde Shri Mahadeva Shambho. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.